Welcome to another edition of House to Home. I'm Clyde Hawsey, along with my great friends Isaiah Payne with the Spokane Home Builders and Tom Lienhard with Avista. And we have been thinking and been talking about this for some time, if you've been following us along, how to find a pro or to talk to a pro. And this is, again, the beginning profile of how we're going to do it. And we asked Tom to come and join us. And Tom, with Avista, it's that time of the year. I'm enjoying some heat. I see it's about 80-some degrees out. But I think the next weather is winter, right?
Well, we're going to get fall, so we have a couple months to get prepared for that. But at Avista, the last thing we want you to do is forget about what's coming and then just run into it when you see a bill that hits your desk. So we'd like you to think about it ahead of time and see if there's anything that we can do to help you use less energy in this winter.
Well, one of the things, Tom, is that we're really doing here with Isaiah and the Spokane Home Builders is that we're engaging pros that you can feel comfortable in calling. And some of the pros that we're actually talking about, of course, is primarily they're with the Spokane Home Builders Association, but Pine Ridge Hardware Store, they're pros, and they have a lot. If they're in your neighborhood, they're there to help you out. If you're looking for rain gutters, the Rainman Seamless Rain Gutter System, they're there to help us out. And Avista, I can't say enough about Avista. You folks have been really there to help us resolve. So those major sponsors really are allowing this to happen, to come to you. So Tom, timing is what you're kind of saying. Is that the word? You didn't say it exactly, but I think you are, right?
Right. I don't want you to forget that sometimes it takes a little bit of preparation to have winter come. And so now's the time to think about that preparation. A lot of people decided to get heat pumps or refrigerated devices to help them through the summer, but also to heat during the winter. If you have something like that, you really need to annually have that thing checked to make sure the coils are clean and the refrigerant levels are correct, so that you don't use more energy than you need to when the winter starts coming. So maintenance is something we love to have people think about right now.
Well, one of the things that we've been talking about on House to Home is that we have new home construction, we have existing home construction, or you're thinking about buying a home. And I just heard something that Spokane is number 2 in the nation for home buying. Is that correct? Home builders?
There's a lot of people who are, building homes, people who are escaping other parts of the country, coming to Spokane. There's a lot of great things that Spokane has to offer. And our builders are busy right now building homes for people moving into Spokane and people who are here local as well, looking to build a new home for themselves. Yeah.
Well, those are the things that we're trying to cover and help you out, and that's why Avista joined us today, because if you're new to the area, winters can be a little bit challenging. They can be long, right, Tom?
That's right. We live in a climate zone that's continental, so we can go from minus 20 in the middle of winter up to 100, 110 in the summer, and that's only the temperature that we feel. That's not the temperatures that hit your building. Some of the black parts of your building, the roofing and other structures, could get to 140 or 150 degrees this time of year, and then they're going to shrink once it hits down to around 0 or minus 20 in the cold. Well, the fact that your building is a living thing, moving and
it moves
and stretches, and means that you might have to go out and take a look around your windows and see if all the caulk, windows and doors, see if anytime two surfaces come together that are made up of different things, we like to caulk between those surfaces so that there's something there if it stretches and it doesn't let any air or anything else come into our house. So now's the time to go start inspecting your home, seeing, do I need to look and caulk or do anything to the places that are the in-between places in my house.
And I would assume that Avista has got a site that if you have questions or what you should be looking at or be maintaining this time of year, they could actually go to Avista. And where are we going to find that on your website?
Well, we have energy tips in myavista.com. You can go look at energy savings and find tips to help you through most of these things. But a lot of these things are so low cost that we don't even have an incentive on them. But I can guarantee you that when you look at a 1/8-inch hole around a door, that's the same size as a softball size hole in your wall. And so if you let that go and you don't fill that in or you don't put something in it, even if we don't have an incentive, you should be going into the hardware store, River Ridge if you're close to them, or some other hardware
Wherever.
store, and you should be buying some caulk or buying some weather stripping and making sure right now that you get that fixed. And how do you do that on a door? Well, at nighttime, you get somebody outside with a flashlight and you have them shine it around the edge, and if you can see the flashlight coming through, then you know that's a place you need to fix.
Well, that's a great idea that you can even involve the whole complete family in finding these leaks. And Isaiah, I think that you have a young family. They'd have
I
a
do,
ball
yeah.
with that and
They would.
with the flashlight, and you could be accomplishing some things. So involve the family, because what's going to be happening is that these are dollars that are going to be spent, and it's a renewable energy power is, but you've got to turn around, but it costs money. And that's the big thing. One other thing I wanted to mention is that, Tom, if you need a new heating system and if you're thinking about upgrading it, you've got to get with the program now, not in the middle of winter. When you need it, you're not going to get it done right away.
Well, and the other reason why you want to take care of it today is that then you can pick what you're going to get. Oftentimes when you wait for something to fail, you get the first one that happened to be on the truck the day they came to visit, and that might not get a
Not intentionally, but
that
it
might not
happens.
get the incentive Avista
Right.
has to offer, that if you'll get a high efficiency one. And so being able to go around and look at your hot water tank and heater and your furnace and all other things right now, and kind of knowing what you have and writing down, what would I get if I was going to get one next? If you just take a little thought through that, then you will be ready in case something does fail on you.
Yeah,
Right.
so you want to be looking, if you can see light around your door, that means air can get through. Early bird gets the incentive. What are some other things that people might be thinking about? I mean, maybe insulation people are thinking about this time of year as we prepare to head into winter. What are some things that we should keep in mind as we're kind of doing these DIY energy efficiency projects?
Well, you brought up insulation, and that helps in both summer and winter.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go up in their attic and look this time of year,
Right.
Because it's probably 110 degrees up there. But it doesn't hurt for you to do that. And when you go up and look, make sure that the insulation is all where it was supposed to be, that you don't have soffits that air came in and blew the insulation away, or for some reason something is not where
Or
it
see if your
should be.
exhaust fan is even hooked up, because I've seen that not happen, right?
Absolutely. And if your exhaust fan doesn't go out to the outside of your house some way, then all of that humidity is going to ruin the insulation that's around that exhaust, because that humidity will just cause it to pack down. We don't have mold problems per se much here, because we have a pretty dry area, but it can hurt you a lot if you're pumping humidity into your attic.
Well, folks, what you're seeing and what you're hearing here today is that even like Avista, and you've got programs, energy programs going on almost all the time, of something going on to help save some energy at your home, as far as a heater or hot water tank. I mean, all of those things.
Right. When you replace the big ticket items, make sure you look at myavista.com at energy savings and see if we have an incentive to help you get to a higher efficient unit. That'll help a lot.
Well, and along the same line, and Isaiah, in the Spokane Home Builders, and we're talking about find a pro, call a pro. We're really building this program on house to home, on finding the pro, getting some good information. And so right soon, you're going to have a website open for us, right?
Right, yeah. So when you are doing a home project, certainly there are some great tips that you've just heard about how to do that, things to think about, how to do that on your own. But we all know that at a certain point, you might need to call a pro. It might cost you more to try to do it yourself if you're not going to do it quite right. And so some of those more complex projects, certainly, we'd love for you to go to our website, shba.com. You can find a pro, someone that you can trust who's an expert in their field. It can come help you do some of those more complex projects, or maybe you just don't have the time to do it right now, but it's the right time to get something done. Make sure you go find a pro. They're there to help you and guide you throughout the process. Make sure you're getting something that's really efficient. Help figure out which of those products maybe that you want to get for your home to save the most amount of money. They're well acquainted with all the products and different techniques that are available out in the market. Definitely encourage people to do that.
Well, you know, that is one of the reasons why we have actually some of the sponsors are members of the Home Builders Association, but Avista along with that. Avista and the rainless gutter, they are also very, very busy, but they need to be called ahead of time. River Ridge, you can go out there and you can get the caulking right. That can be done. But the main thing is that if you have a question where that needs to be answered by the pro, give the Spokane Home Builders Association a call, or give Avista a call, but go on site. You're going to get a lot of guidance that way. We don't always have all the right answers, but we sure can help you find that right answer, and that's the main objective. Any other thoughts basically right now, Tom?
I would just say timing is important.
Timing is it.
Timing is important right now to do some of the outside jobs if you want to do them yourself. Timing is important if you're putting something off and it's going to help you in the winter. Perhaps it's better to hire a pro to do that thing
Right.
and have it done, so that you will save the amount of money plus the cost of the pro to get that done. And I think the last thing I would say is that when Isaiah's team puts up Find a Pro, make sure you look at 2 or 3 of them and have them all bid your project for
Very
you, so
true.
then you know more about what you're talking about, and you're feeling like you're in control, and you're the one who's calling the shots on what's going on.
What Tom is saying, ask some questions. Isaiah, any last words?
I don't think so. We're just excited to help connect people with pros. I mean, certainly right now is the time to be thinking about what are ways to winterize your home, what are ways that we can save energy as we prepare for winter. I know it seems odd to be talking about that when the weather is as warm as it is, but now is the time to do that, and certainly encourage people to get a hold of a pro if they need that extra help or that extra expertise.
With all of those thoughts in mind, your list should be getting long. I know my honey-do list at home is, I'm working at it, but it's been getting longer. So let us get into a pattern of getting things completed. Ask questions, become involved. A couple of things, and we're going to close here, but I want you to first be safe. These masks are kind of hard to work with, as we found today even again. But be safe out there. Ask questions. Find a pro. There's not one question that is always stupid. It's always a question of saying, what do you think this should be done and how should we happen? So with all that in mind, I'm Clyde Haase, Isaiah, Tom, we're all here to help you out. Until next time, we'll see you then on House to Home.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Avista.